All right, here we go. Tyson Beckford, welcome back to VladTV.
Yes, sir. What's good?
Hey, man, listen, when you were on the first time a few months ago, it really made some waves and it ruffled some feathers, it seems.
I mean, I don't know whose feathers it ruffled because they obviously didn't reach out to me, but, it's whatever, I always tell people, I'm easy to find. Not easy to find, but you can hit me on social media if you really want to talk to me. I read all DMs, but I don't answer all of them,
There we go. Well, I felt the interview did so well, and I felt that, your approach to answering questions and the honesty and everything else like that was so intense that I wanted to bring you back as a repeat guest. So,
yes, sir.
So here we go. And I want you to, touch on different subjects in terms of what's going on right now. Well, with you being in the modeling world, I kind of feel like we should start with what's been happening in the modeling world. And I think that the biggest news.
Well, first off,
world,
I'm not in the modeling world, and I keep telling people I left that business 2008. So anything new going on now, I really don't know, bro. So we'll see what we can answer. If I can't answer, then it's all right.
But I mean, regardless of where you are right now in terms of your career, you're still the most famous male supermodel of all time.
Some might dispute that, but as we say in Jamaica,
I don't know.
Nobody business.
There you go. Well, one of the big things that is happening in the modeling world right now is that model Emily Ratajkowski, who was in the Blurred Lines video with Robin Thicke, and T.I. and Pharrell, recently came out and said that during the shoot, Robin Thicke came up behind her and touched her breasts without her, actually being okay with it. And it became kind of a very serious thing. And then during the actual shoot, the video director, who's a female herself, came out and said, yeah, that actually did happen. And I was really upset. I shut the whole shoot down for that day. And Robin tried to kind of apologize, but now this is coming back up. As someone who's been in this world for so long, what is your take on something like this?
Well, funny you should ask me, but I'm actually doing a documentary on the Me Too side of modeling. So, I mean, in the business, there were things said to people and done to people that were just washed and wiped underneath the rug, per se. And I think a lot of people now that we've seen the Harvey Weinsteins and that go down in Hollywood, we forget that before that dress hits the red carpet, it was in a photo shoot. And on that particular photo shoot, something could have happened, and I think a lot of times the casting couch for models was like whatever, they're just models, like looked at as sheep and cow. So now you have a lot of models coming out like her who are now speaking up and saying, hey, this happened to me. So I'm working with Big Fish Productions right now, and we're actually been putting together this show for the past 6 months that we are going to tap into things like that, because I personally saw some stuff when I was in the business. I mean, something kind of happened to me where I was on the Vibe photo shoot. Terry Richardson was shooting it. It was a night shoot. It was like one of my very first jobs back in 1993. And, the stylist and the art director asked me to change clothes. And I said, all right, no problem. I'm going to change clothes. And they were like, no, you got to do it here. And I said, no, I'm not doing it here. I said, you got me, all the way fucked up. And, and if anybody always know me, I keep a backpack with me. Yeah. So you already know what's in it. So I had that on set and I told Money no. And then the first thing I did was pick that up. And I said, look, that ain't gonna happen, And they said, well, you don't do it, you're fired. I said, all right, cool. Grabbed my backpack and I walked out. And that was that. Few hours later, they called my manager, told him, oh, he's a disrespectful young man, this and that. And she came back with the ultimate clap, was like, yo, he Jamaican. He not gonna do nothing crazy like that. You know what I mean? So don't try to approach my boy like that. She defended me, which I love. But that was like one of the only incidents I ever had. But I heard a lot of different things about a lot of different photographers. The list is long. If I bring you the list, you'll be shocked, you know? But I was shocked when I saw the list for the first time. But this is coming out. You ain't stopping it, you know? And I'm glad for homegirl to step up and say something. I mean, it obviously bothered her because that video was what, 10, 12 years ago? But still, I mean, she still has that right to say something. And I know Robin, and I know he didn't mean no harm by it, but even though you're on a set like that, you still gotta, you know, be cordial, be a gentleman, ask permission. I understood it was like, you know, in the heat of the moment or whatever, but you still can't do that. You know, that's not cool. You know, it's not cool for a woman to do it to a man nor a man to do to a woman, you know. Private space is private space, no matter what set you're on.
Okay, so in your particular case, you're saying it was a Terry Richardson shoot, right?
Which Terry had nothing to do with it. Terry wasn't, you know, I mean, he was just a photographer. And, you know, little did we know then that he would be steamrolled and thrown into all of that stuff because, you know, I heard a lot of crazy stuff about his shoots and, you know, but he was always cordial with me. He actually shot an ex-girlfriend of mine and I was on set. He was much of a gentleman, but, you know, by that time, things started coming down on him. So I think he was aware of his surroundings and behaving, you know, per se.
Okay, so in your case, who was asking you to change in front of them?
These are two well-known stylists and you know, art directors now in the world, but you know, they've soon apologized. You know, they look at it now and they, you know, they're ashamed of what they did. And, you know, I told them, I said, look, you know, I'm not going to out you. You know, just don't do it to anybody else, you know? And that's what we really want. We don't want people doing it to anyone else, someone new, you know, because I saw a lot of young women and men in the industry when I was there got taken advantage of, you know? And 6 months later, they're back home in their small town, ready to marry the first person that shows them some kind of love, you know, because it is abuse, whether it's verbal, physical or sexual, it's abuse either way. And it's not cool, man, you know?
Okay, well, without naming any names, the two stylists that you mentioned, are they male or female?
Males. Two openly gay
so
males, like... you know, I mean, they was trying to see the Magnum, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It was well said, you know, I was I was a man back then, you know?
Okay.
So...
okay, cool. Because remember, we touched on that.
Big 12s.
Well, remember in our last interview, I asked about this though. Remember, like we touched on that, and you're like, "Yeah, it hasn't really happened." But you know, I mean,
for me, that was my only interaction to be asked to change and be naked in front of two men, which you know it didn't happen, and it wasn't like you know nowadays you're backstage of the show, you're rushing to get. You sometimes I've been naked backstage and you're rushing to get dressed. And in that point of it, you're in a rush. Nobody's really watching, you know, but I've looked up sometimes and seen like somebody naked. And then you're so shocked, you look back down. Not like I ain't seen a naked woman or a man before. It's just like, you know, you don't want to invade somebody else's space. And it's just a cordial thing to do. You know, we don't have like curtains backstage for shows. You know, you just hurry up and do it and be done. I mean, we in society have put the human body to a point where we're almost ashamed of it, you know? But then again, it's almost a privilege to see it when you do get to see it, especially if it's somebody you're with and you care about, you know, it's important. But me, I don't have no problem being naked, you know? I just ain't gonna be naked in front of two men oogling and staring though, you know? It ain't happening, you know?
Well, yeah, you know, as you were talking, I actually looked it up. 15 different women have spoken out about Terry Richardson.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You know, I mean, all the way from being uncomfortable.
Yo, Vlad, the list is so long. I was shocked to see some names on there because it was people I knew and people I worked with. So I was just like, what? Really? I didn't get that. But then again, you know what I mean? You don't know somebody till you're in the room with them and, you know, y'all done had some drinks and everybody start talking and loosening up, you know? And it's just like, who knows what they go in the back room when they doing, you know? And a lot of these people were taken advantage of, and they have a right to speak out, you know? I'm coming out with my book myself, but in my book, I don't really even touch on stuff like that. I was saving that for the documentary. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the women that spoke out against Terry was Miley Cyrus.
Wow.
Another one was Scout Willis, who was, 21 years old. That's the daughter of Bruce Willis and Demi Moore.
Yeah.
And, she said last night Terry Richardson tried to finger me. I didn't let him, obviously, but I did let him photograph me topless in the bathroom. So,
wow. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's stories like that.
Yeah, I mean, I heard one time he was doing a photo shoot and he had the girl giving him a blowjob while he was shooting her. I mean, it's wild shit. You do that in your bedroom, it's fine, but if you do that on the set, yo, that's, that ain't cool, bro. So, he's got a long list of legal troubles ahead of him. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, Robin Thicke was trending for like 3 days. At the end of the day, yeah, coming up and grabbing a woman's breasts while you're working with her, there's nothing cool about that.
No, and I'm sure Robin, has the deepest apologies over it, and I don't think he'll ever do anything like that again. I mean, I'm sure he would, if he could say sorry to her, face to face, he would. I met the guy a few times. I even knew his dad, and his dad was a legend, bro. And his dad ain't raised him like that. You just probably in the heat of the moment again, shit happens, and I'm sure he's very sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I read the interview by her. She said that, like, if she was at a bar and Blurred Lines would come on, the speakers, she would just, like, leave the bar. She just couldn't take it. It was just, like, traumatic for her to think about that.
Wow, yeah. That sucks, man.
And it was such a huge song that it was just
it was everywhere.
Over and over again for years.
You couldn't walk down the street and not hear it, I mean, just a lot of nonsense went on with that song, I guess, because remember they ended up getting sued by somebody else for it or whatever.
Oh yeah, by the Marvin Gaye estate. I mean, that song actually changed music sampling laws, because before, if you kind of did something somewhat similar, it was fine.
Yeah.
But in this particular case, when they said, look, like these two songs sonically are similar enough where we feel like he's actually stealing Marvin Gaye's work, and the judge actually agreed with that. And then after that, you just saw all these people, like I remember Candy, from Escape. Candy and I think Tiny both got credit for like certain songs.
Right, because those girls
and
are
so forth,
songwriters.
because like some of their songs just sounded similar enough to say, okay, we'll just go ahead and pay you now before you file a lawsuit and get this money anyways.
That's the unexpected check in the mail that you love to get,
Right.
That's what SAG and AFTRA does to me. They send me these checks out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, when I get my $2 check for my appearance on the Boondocks, man, that definitely.
Man, come on, that's one of my favorite shows. That shit is real as fuck. That show, I still watching some of the old ones.
All good, all good. Well, you and I are old enough to remember when like things like Brazilian butt lifts were just non-existent. If a woman had a nice posterior, it's because that's how she was born, or that's how she worked. She worked out and did a lot of squats and really sculpted her body and so
or
forth.
She ran
but
track
now,
in high school, something like that. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
different
but
world now. I guess you could just go in with a magazine and be like, "Yo, do it like this, make it like that."
I want this butt right here. Yeah, give me a Nicki Minaj.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Give me a Sweetie. Give me a Cardi B.
See, that's what I want. That's why I like skinny girls with the booty. That's it. I'll take that, because at least I know it ain't gonna explode in the bed at night. You're like from radiation or anything crazy. That's crazy what these women are doing to themselves. Hey, that's your body. You do what you do.
I mean, I'm not personally a fan of Brazilian butt lifts or liposuction or that type of thing. That's just me. Not to say that some men don't find it beautiful. I feel a lot of times women are being pressured to do this type of thing because you almost have like, I've even heard it, mentioned BBL fashion. Now it's like some of these brands actually market towards women with BBLs and create this type of style. You know,
Wow.
and what, what kind of hits close to home with you is that recently Jada Pinkett and her daughter Willow Smith said they were actually considered getting Brazilian butt lifts.
Why?
Yeah.
As Popcorn would say, why? There are those two women, like, are two of the most natural, beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. I don't get it. I really don't. I really don't. I hope they don't. But again, I just don't get it. I don't know why they're doing it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when you do something like that, there's no going back. That's it. You know what I mean? It's like jumping out of an airplane. You can't re-jump back in the plane. You're out, you know?
Yeah. And every woman that I've known over the years that got any sort of plastic surgery kept getting more plastic surgery.
Yeah, it's addiction. It's like almost addictive. You see it, you know what I mean? And then they turn into the Catwoman and you're like, what the fuck? Who are you? Because there's certain people out there now, I don't even recognize them. If I walk by them on the street, you know, and these are people I've known for 15, 20 years as artists, and then you look at them now and it's like, I don't even know who that is no more, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting and things go wrong. You know, for example, we had posted a video of K. Michelle, dancing in the mirror, and like it looked like her butt kind of just came loose, sort of just kind of detached in a type of way. And she actually addressed it later. She goes, yeah, I had my implants removed, but it's still like part of it's still there. And I don't know, man. Like it's interesting because I don't feel like there's any equivalent for a man. Like you don't really hear. Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess you can get your penis enlarged.
You want to hear a crazy story?
I don't know any guys who get their penis enlarged. I never even remotely considered it.
Somebody one time accused me of pec implants and also pec implants, cheek implants, and calf implants. Anybody know me that, I got mad hops. I used to dunk when I was younger. Now I don't do none of that shit because, I don't fuck up my knees. But yeah, like, because I did so much push-ups, I had crazy pecs. So people would accuse me of pec implants. I had another male model do that, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna slap the shit out you. You keep running around this town telling people some crazy shit like that. And this was like the 90s, which nothing like that even existed. You know what I mean? But people will say whatever they want because they just off their cranium like that. But pec implants, but I don't know, man. I think if you had things that men could go do in surgery, men would do it. You know what I mean? Some men are out there getting liposuction. Ain't gonna name no men's, but we know who some of them is.
I mean,
I'm not fucking with it. I don't need to.
I'll name them. Like, I mean, for example, Funkmaster Flex went on Instagram and actually showed that he had liposuction. And he said that the reason why he did it is because Drake and Kanye were doing it, and it kind of made him feel okay to do it. And French Montana, I think he mentioned French Montana as well. I can't confirm nor deny that they actually had it done, but
why? I fuck with that.
Yeah, man, listen, I lost 30 pounds during the pandemic. I don't have a washboard stomach, but I'm happy with what I got. And I've always felt like, if I need to lose it, I need to work and actually put in the work to lose it. Work on my diet, go to the gym.
I'm a 50-year-old man who does work 5 days a week. I got a gym. I built a gym in my garage. It's fully equipped. There's no way I can walk. Like on my way here, I walk by it. I'm like, yo, I should bust out some reps. And it's just like, some of us are just built different. We're going to go to the gym and do the work. You know what I mean? It's jailhouse, prison style, whatever you want to call it. We just go and we do the work. There's no reason for me to go lay down on some doctor's table and have him jabbing and sticking and sucking. And you seen it, right? That shit is wild. That shit is wild. That's like having somebody jig you with a knife consistently, but the knife has a suction. No, No, I don't want that kind of pain. No, sir. If I gotta go do my curls, my presses, yo, bro, I'm doing it every day. If I'm gonna run, I'm gonna run. If I'm gonna skip rope, I'm gonna skip rope. I'm from the warrior tribe. We don't do that. You know what I mean?
There you
we
go.
Gonna earn it.
There you go.
We gonna earn it.
Exactly.
It's because there's a feeling about
like
it when you earn it like that. You know?
Right. And a lot of times when you look at lipo, when you look at people who have lipo stomachs, it's sort of like it looks uneven.
They all
it
look
looks
the same.
wavy.
Every lipo stomach look the same on a lot of these chicks and these
looks
these
the same,
dudes,
and the belly buttons always look crazy.
Yeah,
it's usually the belly button that's just like yo, what is that?
I can't even describe it. It's like I don't know. I go hog hunting, right? So when I shoot the pig, maybe sometimes I use a 300 blackout or I use a 308. I'm talking for those of you who do not understand gun talk. That's the size of the bullet, the caliber. So once the bullet goes into the pig, you see that hole in the front, and that's what a lot of those suctions look like. Like something fast just went through there and pulled the belly button through. And it's I mean, if you're a hunter, you understand what I'm saying. But if you're not, it's the weirdest looking thing ever to watch a bullet go through an animal like that. And that's what those belly buttons look like to me. They're crazy. They all look signature the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe all these doctors doing the same sort of procedure, but yo, that shit is crazy, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Well, fashion has always been sort of an interesting thing. It seems like recently men's fashion has taken some interesting turns. You've seen kind of prominent people wearing dresses. Jaden Smith, remember, was wearing the skirt and actually did an ad for Louis Vuitton women's wear. Right?
Man.
Well, hold on.
For me, it's not, you ain't never gonna catch me in no dress. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Let's move to the next topic because I'm not even gonna get into this one because I already see this one is gonna get me into trouble because I'm so outright spoken and no, I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't wearing no dress, bro. I mean, and motherfuckers got the nerve to say that I'm gay. Bitch, you ain't never seen me in no fucking dress or skirt. Guess what? You ain't never gonna see me in one. That's not what I do. My shorts might be short because I'm working out, but they ain't gonna be no. Next topic, bro. I seen it, and I just had to I had to look the other way because I just didn't understand that one.
Well, I just want to say before we get off the topic, listen, when Jaden Smith did it, okay, cool, whatever. Kid Cudi, all right, you doing the artsy shit. But when Russell Westbrook wore the skirt, I said, come on, man. Like an athlete of that caliber who's just a monster on the court wearing he had to go to the women's section to go buy it.
But see, Vlad, this is one of my reasons why I don't follow society. I don't cling on to certain people because they do certain things a certain way. Because you know what? In the end, they always end up disappointing you and doing some shit that you like, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? And it's like, right now, I'm a big Brooklyn fan, Brooklyn Nets fan. And then you see what's going on over there. And I'm just like, not to say that it's bothering me to the point, but in the end of the day, you said something to me the other day that I've always I've been remembering all week. It's just business. It's not personal. So with a lot of those people, what they're doing, it might be just business. It ain't personal. I mean, it's a shock factor. Everybody's trying to do something nowadays to shock the next person or shock the world, you know? And I just, some of that shit I don't condone. I can't get with. I can't get behind. I can't support you. If you're going to do that, that's it. So there's a lot of people that I don't even, fuck with because they're going to do something wild like that. Then there's people that you just know, that's a solid motherfucker. I know he ain't going to do no dumb shit. I could always, you know what I mean? And that's why I just like some of this shit that's going on in the world. I just keep my head down and and keep working and mind my business. You know what I mean? I love telling people that's my favorite shit to do. Mind my motherfucking business, you know?
Well, was there ever a time during any of your photo shoots over the years, where you were asked to wear something that you're like, nah, I'm not going to wear that?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I can recall. There was never back then the envelope was never pushed to that point, and we never had that kind of thing because a lot of the stylists and the people that I worked with were very much in tune with who I was. So they got me and they understood we're not going to go this way with anything on his side. We ain't going to push nothing. I might have seen it on other people, but they were like, everything I did was masculine. It was, it was who I was. I never put on anything that wasn't me, And when I did put it on, I made it even flyer than when it was, when it was just on the rack. And I never was approached that. And especially at Ralph Lauren, we never pushed that kind of envelope. It was always straightforward and to the agenda. It was never nothing like that. But you know what? Let me say something. If that creatively is who that person is, I can't hate on it. It just ain't for me. You know what I mean? Some motherfuckers could probably put on a hat and it wouldn't look this good on them. You know what I mean? I could go in my closet and pull out this crazy shirt and it look good on me, but another motherfucker might be like, I ain't fucking with that shirt. I'm not fucking with that hat. You know what I mean? I don't like the way he dresses. But that's your opinion. You know what I mean? It's not, everybody's style and creative being is not the same. You know what I mean? Some are going to push the envelope and some are just doing it straight up for clout, So if that's what you're doing, good for you. I'm gonna just keep it 100 and be who I am. You see me, this is me. I ain't putting on no front. I'm not trying to be nobody else. You know what I mean? And I sure ain't wearing my girlfriend dress. That ain't for sure.
Right. No, listen. If I wore a dress right now,
my shoulders too broad and my biceps too big for that shit.
I mean, listen. If I put on a dress and took a picture and posted on Instagram, it would trend. It would go crazy viral. I already know.
Yeah.
But I don't give a shit. I don't need that. Like, I don't care. I don't care how many more followers.
Yeah.
If I made an extra $1 million by doing that, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, you like me when it comes to that. We're not chasing this clout. We're chasing this paper.
It's not
you
me.
Know what I mean?
It's not me. I don't need the money. I don't need the money that bad.
I don't need it that bad. No, never did, never will. Not today. Yep. Not today, baby. Yep. Not tomorrow neither.
Do you feel like when you first came out, because, you've always had, you've had black models, obviously, for a very long time, but you came out with the tattoos, and the tattoos were prominent, and they were big tattoos. It wasn't like one little tattoo on the shoulder. It was like you had sleeves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Sleeves and like my legs were all done. And for me, there was nobody in the industry doing what I was doing when I was doing that. There was a couple girls maybe, but there was no dominant males doing that. And whether the people want to give me my props or not, I basically was like, changed the whole modeling industry when it was, it was clean. No one had tattoos. I came in with my neck. My neck was done, just everything. You know what I mean? And it changed the game where it was more acceptant, because I remember working for Polo Jeans. They would let it ride because they knew I rode a Harley. They knew I rode bikes. They knew I was into extreme sports. So then when I was doing Purple Label, you wouldn't see any of that. I was clean cut. And that's what I loved about my career, because I could flip. I could be put in a $4,000 suit and look like straight out of Wall Street. Or you could put me in a wife beater and some jeans and a wallet chain and put me on a Harley, and I could run with the Mongols. I could run with the Hells Angels. It don't matter. It just, there was just that I could just do it, whereas now they have to hire individuals for certain ones. Okay, you got to do this one. You got to do that one. You don't have that flexible individual that can flip like that, And I think I was the best to do it,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you changed the way men present themselves, because now you see a man with a sleeve tattoo and it's just not even a big deal. It's almost like, it's surprising sometimes when you see rappers without a bunch of tattoos.
Yeah, and I mean,
You know?
I respect those who don't have it. I mean, if I could do it all over again, I'd probably do it again with the sleeves. And then again, when I remember and see pictures of me without it, I was gangster then too. You just didn't have any markings to catch me with, you know what I mean? Because now I notice whenever I go fill out some paperwork for some guns, they have this one, they have in their books, FBI, ATF, they have it that I have one sleeve on the right arm. They don't have it that I got two, because the last time they recorded it was I had one sleeve. So I'm thinking like, damn, I'm in the books for at least one sleeve. So, you know, say if I was to go back to a life of crime, I got to make sure I cover up both arms. You know, I got to be murdered out head to toe, you know? So, you know, it's something to think about when you get Nick.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, Dave Chappelle just dropped his new special, The Closer. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Great stand-up.
Yeah, great stand-up, and he's a genius, and I think a lot of people misunderstood what he was really trying to say, because, you know, he talked about what was the transgender name? Marge, is it? Or
the woman he talked about, the transgender friend?
who was doing the stand-up with him, and you know, she totally bombed, but when she got in that room and people were trying to clown her, she was able to stand up for herself and do all the good things. I just think that what he was saying is so true, because, you know, look at DaBaby. DaBaby shot somebody, well, his people or whomever, whatever happened in that Walmart.
He actually did it himself. But you know, just to clear things up, because I feel like the way Dave presented it sort of skewed the story a bit.
Yeah.
Someone actually approached DaBaby in a Walmart with a gun when he was with his family, and DaBaby killed that man in self-defense.
Right.
And that's why he never went to prison, because they established it was a self-defense killing. He's not going out there just shooting random black men.
No, he's not.
Like,
it was a self-defense, which I totally understood, and I'm sure most smart people understood that too. But it's the fact that could happen in America, but you got to be careful of what you say now. Like, you know, certain words you can't say now, because, you know, even somebody was talking shit to me yesterday on Instagram. So in my head, and I think I was saying it aloud, I was like, pussy hole, you motherfucker. And as I'm writing it, Instagram hits me with these comments are not. So I'm trying to like be creative on how I want to like attack this dude without, you know, getting flagged, because I've been getting flagged a lot. You know, so, you know, they told me, I guess, if I get flagged one more time, they taking my Instagram, which I don't really give a fuck, but still, though, I just was like, all right, you know. And then before I could, like this morning, I woke up again, he still was on my thing, and I'm like, this mother, and then, you know, I DM'd him, of course, and was like, yo, let him know how I felt, and if he really wanted to find out because he was writing some shit about I don't get down or whatever. Then I looked at him, and I was just like, really, bro? You shouldn't be one to talk. But anyway, that's another story. But the fact that people are so sensitive towards things. And then I saw that certain employees of Netflix barged into a meeting, and they shut them down and ixnayed them real quick. And it's just like, some things you just got to understand, it's comedy. It's comedy. If we can't laugh at each other, then we got a problem. We have a real serious problem about to jump off in this world. And I always feel like we're building this tension up, fighting over and arguing over stupid shit, that the powder keg is going to blow. And then we're going to really see what a lot of people are made of, because if shit hit the fan in this country, you might as well call it World War III, because this shit's going to spill over into other countries. Because we got real shit going on in Taiwan and China right now. You know, that's the real shit that we should really be watching. And then we got global warming. That's another shit that we should really be watching. But To be arguing over what somebody said in a comedic act is stupid to me. But if he was walking down the street and yelled it at somebody in the street, then I understand you can be mad. But it's comedy, it's entertainment. If we can't laugh, what the fuck we got left, Vlad? What the fuck do we really got left?
Well, yeah, I mean, he talked about his friend Daphne Dorman, who was transgender.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, what I got from it was to show at the end of the story that Daphne was bullied so hard on social media that she ended up killing herself.
Yeah. And
that to me was the main point of that whole act.
But Vlad, smart people like you and I, that's what we got from the story. Others didn't get that. All they got was like, oh, he's attacking us. He's attacking us. No, he was not. He was talking about this person who got bullied and then caused hurt to themselves, which is what's going on. Social media, it's a fucking, if you put everybody in the room that had some problem with another person and you say, laws don't matter. You do what the fuck you need to do to handle this and handle it. I bet you a lot of them would be hiding under the couch. It's like Squid Games. When the lights went out, you saw who the bitch is. And I'm just like, in some way, in some form, we kind of might need to do that in the real world because people are just they get keyboard gangsters, I call them, But some of us is out here, we're not hard to find. We're not asking for no trouble, but you got a discrepancy, you got a problem. Let's not put it out in the world like that. Meet me somewhere. Let's talk about it. Because the problem in this world is communication. People don't communicate. People don't talk about things. They don't pull out their problems, and it's just a big problem. It's getting worse. And then you see what the hell's going on with Facebook and Instagram. They're under attack because they're allowing certain shit to happen. And, as I'm writing this, and I'm like, see, this is what the fuck Dave was talking about. People bullying you on social media. But then it's like, they're not stopping that. But they going after other shit. Like, you going after me for replying to the guy, but you didn't get him for saying what he said to me. So what the fuck? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna jump off no roof or blow my brains out. I might push him off the fucking roof or blow his fucking brains out. But, that's just me. I ain't gonna do harm to myself. But, if a motherfucker start shit with me, I'm gonna body you, bro. I'm like DaBaby. I'm gonna defend myself. And I have that right, And you have that right. That's why I don't go run around starting shit with people. It's like anything I say on social media, I'll be like, man, have a nice day. And then somebody will come like, what the fuck you mean by that? And it's like, bro, it don't mean nothing bad. Why are you trying to find something bad? I feel like the world they're ready for a fight. Everybody's ready for a fight till you get punched in the fucking mouth. Then you find out this shit is for real, And I ain't punching fair.
Well, Mike Tyson was the one that I first heard say that quote. And I saw a picture with you and Mike Tyson just chilling out and you had your arm around him, like chilling.
Yeah, me and Mike go way back.
Okay, so you guys have a relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of people don't understand that Mike's a really smart guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And he'll tell you, and if Mike says something about transgenders, I guarantee nobody would say nothing. Because they know Mike will fucking eat your kids. Yeah, I remember one time me and Mike was in a bar, right? And I had this beef with this kid named Max. And Max Pierre, Max, I'm gonna shout you out because you did some fucked up shit on this one. So me and Max Pierre went to college together. And, I took a girl from Max. Max kind of got upset about it, whatever. So anyway, I'm in the club in New York. This is Envy back in the day. So me and Mike in there. Mike's one of Mike's bodyguards is with Mike, and my stepdad is with me. So me and Mike at the bar drinking. So Mike is telling me all this stuff. He's like, yo, you're an icon for our people. Me and Mike having a positive talk. Everybody's like standing around looking at me and Mike, and girls is trying to holler, but we ain't paying them no mind. So it's basically between my stepdad and Mike's bodyguard who are just trying to keep everybody back. So we're just at the bar. Me and Mike is drinking. We having a good time. You know what I mean? Music is right. Ladies all over the place. Here come Max Pierre ass. See the commotion. See the energy going on. And he come in a little circle and he says something slick. So before I could even react, I see Mike ball up his fists and Mike just throws the punch from right past my shoulder. I don't know if you've ever been shot at before. I've been shot at before. And it's a scary feeling. So there's a thing the bullet does when it goes past you. There's like a heat. Like you ever seen the movies and the blur? Yeah. That's what went by my shoulder when Mike Tyson connected to Max Pierre's chest. He punched Max in the chest. And I know you remember this, Max. Max's whole chest cavity came in and he went back like this. And he shot past people, into people, knocked him down and a few other people. And then me being a dummy, I jumped in the way and I was holding Mike. Mike say, don't you ever disrespect him like that again. He's a fucking icon. And I was just like, yeah, you did that, Mike. And the look on Max Pierre's face when he was gasping for oxygen, I thought he was going to die. I'm looking down at him. I got my drink in hand, didn't spill it. And I'm like, damn. What came to mind was you got knocked the fuck out, but it was like, yo, you shouldn't be fucking around. You shouldn't be fucking around. And the next thing you know, Mike was trying to kill him. Because we were having this great intellectual conversation, and here comes this hater. I had to calm Mike down. I said, Mike, come on, let's get back to drinking. He was like, yo, fuck that motherfucker, yo. What the fuck is it? Who the fuck does he think he is? And I was like, yeah, and I explained to Mike, yeah, I took his bitch back in the day, and he ain't never let it go. So, that's what it was. But, great story. Man, I got stories all day with me and Mike running around in New York City, man. Mike is a real motherfucker, man. When Mike floored that boy for me, I was just like, yo, Mike, I would kill a motherfucker for you. You did this for me, I would kill a motherfucker for you. So, just fucking around with people, you gotta be careful, And I warned Max when he was on the ground, I said, yo, you see me here with this motherfucker, why the fuck would you do some dumb shit like that? And obviously, Max had to do some dumb shit. Max wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he learned his lesson from that point on. And I guarantee you, to this day, Max ain't got one speck of beef with me, Because he didn't realize who I was with at the bar, I guess, But he found out the hard way. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today.
Well, Fat Joe did an interview recently. I think it was on Rap City with Big Tigger, where he said he called DaBaby the new Tupac. I thought long and hard about this.
I'm thinking long and hard about
that. Man, I really had to, I spent literally hours, because, okay, look, I solved the Tupac murder case. All right?
Yeah, I saw Tupac firsthand. And a lot of people didn't really realize Tupac wasn't a gangster. He just was put into situations where he had to react. And I think if he could go back and do it again, he probably wouldn't do that. This guy was a poet. He was an artist. He wasn't no gangster. He wasn't no death row. He wasn't none of these things, you know what I mean? And I'm working on a documentary now with certain people that I can't disclose just yet, because I wanted to break some news on here today, but the lawyers didn't get back to me yet. But we're going to visit all of those things, because there's this misconception that Tupac was a rowdy, bad guy. He really wasn't. He was a Gemini. And most Gemini men are emotional, They have two sides of them. I have a few Gemini friends, so I see it all the time. And sometimes they act and do things that I'm like, yo, you ain't built that way. Sit down, simmer down now. Don't make me have to come out my house and rescue you, because that's not you. And those are one of the things that people misunderstood about Tupac. I hung out with him. He was an artist. He wasn't no gangster. You know what I mean? That picture of him, thug life, smoking. There was two sides of him where he wanted to be that thug life, but inside of his heart, he wasn't really that. You know what I mean? And I think when people say, yo, he's Tupac, he's the next Tupac, I think people use that loosely, because there'll never be an artist like that. There'll never be an artist like Biggie. There'll never be an artist like Craig Mack or Nipsey Hussle. These are one of one. DaBaby is DaBaby, okay? I love Fat Joe and all, but DaBaby is DaBaby. Whatever, he might have some remnants of a Tupac, but you can't really say he's the new Tupac. I hate when people say, yo, he's the new Tyson, or he's the new this. No, don't say that. I don't need a new one, nor does Tupac need a new one. Be yourself. Yeah. Be yourself. Be your motherfucking self. Don't try to be like nobody else. And it's the same thing I used to always say when people say, oh, LeBron James is the new Michael Jordan. No, there will never be a new Michael Jordan. There's only one Michael Jordan. There's only one LeBron James. These men are their own individuals, born and did things in different time frames. You know what I mean? People say, you're like Nat Turner. How the hell can I be like Nat Turner? Because I speak up, I don't say it. I said, Nat Turner was 1800s. Come on now. How can I be that? It's just you remind people of certain things that they want to throw that stigmatism on you, or that, that kind of wordage on you. But he ain't. Trust me, I met Pac. He ain't Pac, it's just like there's one Tretch
about it.
There's one Run DMC, there's one Wu-Tang Clan, and there'll never be another Old Dirty Bastard. But his son is very close. His son is very close. Right. That's a reincarnation there. So if you're going to say it's a reincarnation, then that's a different story. But that's the only thing I've ever seen that come close to the original, somebody's son.
Yeah. Well, even the actor who plays him on that Wu-Tang Hulu series does a damn good job.
Hell yeah.
Nails
that
it.
whole, I'm not for the cartoon parts in that, but Hulu got a hit. You know what I mean? There's only certain things that I watch on Hulu.
Hulu got a good one, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm jailbreaking somebody's shit. Yeah, I said it, Hulu. That ain't my shit. I'm watching somebody else's.
Yeah,
I live at 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Come see me.
Yeah, the Old Dirty Bastard character nails it. The Raekwon really nails it.
Oh, yeah.
And
then you got
I'm not a huge fan.
Yo, I had no idea Ghostface was so ignorant back in the day. Like the little things.
No. I like the character.
Got on the mic and say, hey, don't nobody talk to my girl in the middle of a show. I'm like, come on, bro. But his girl is fine.
The only thing that bothers me about the show is the actor who plays RZA. I feels he tries too hard to do a RZA accent.
Yeah, it's too much. And he's a brilliant actor, though.
Yeah. He is. He's a great actor, but I feel like that RZA voice that he does is just not natural.
It's too much, yeah. If like you and I, we've been in the circle of all of the Wu members, and I've had many conversations with RZA, and it's a little too much, but he'll get it. The show is still good though, regardless. I tune in all the time. I watched mine last night, so I was just like, all right.
Yeah. In terms of who I feel might be the closest to a Tupac, the only person I could really think of, and it's missing certain aspects of Pac's personality, of course, but the only person I could really think of was 50 Cent.
Yeah, coming up, but a lot of people don't understand, Curtis is a badass. Like I think he was more gangster than Pac was, put it that way. Because in South Jamaica, Queens, you just knew not to fuck with him. He didn't have no mask crew, nothing. He did a lot of his work by himself. You know what I mean? And when you meet him in person, he the same way. He ain't scared to say nothing. Mm-hmm. He will go up against, anybody,
Right.
And when he wrote what was that song? I'll rob you or whatever.
You're talking about how to rob.
How to rob. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, that was real shit. You know what I mean? He put a lot of people on blast and still lived to tell about it. You know.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that, you know, Curtis is a different beast, man. I think he's probably the closest if you want to do a comparison, but he was way more gangster than Tupac could ever be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
I just mean the fearlessness.
He rolled around
the fearlessness of going up against
with
anybody.
Glocks with the numbers scratched off and shit. You know, he had mad throwaways, you know? and whenever he did photo shoots, he brought real guns. They weren't like play guns and prop guns and none of that shit. He brought the real shit, you know, and he's intelligent businessman. And like, if you look at whether you like any of this TV shows he got out, you still got to give him his props. Like BMF is really good. And, you know, the whole Ghost, everything is really good stuff. You know what I mean? Because he puts a real essence of the street in there, you know? And then that, you know, that one of the most powerful scenes I've seen in any of his productions was when he had Kendrick Lamar in there as a crackhead talking to him on the street corner. That shit was a real fucking conversation. It was like, I didn't see Kendrick Lamar. I saw a crackhead talking to a drug dealer, you know? So you got to really give it to him. And I think if Pac would have been able to live, I think we would have got probably some good TV stuff out of him and Biggie and all these guys, because now Hollywood is very interested in these stories now, because you're seeing the Wu-Tang taking off, you're seeing BMF taking off, you're seeing real shit. You know, people are tired of watching these put together shows. They now want to see real shit that went on that they didn't even know that was fucking going on. You know what I mean? You know? Yeah.
I mean, someone posted that 50 Cent created the Marvel universe for drug dealers.
I like that. That's almost true. If you think about it, that's almost true. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, you know, I'd have to say it was originally Jay-Z that did it, because Jay-Z was like, when you think about it, he was one of the first, like he was making music and he was still hustling between Marcy and Virginia. You know, I mean, those of us who grew up in the city knew, you know, and, you know, him and the whole crew, they was really about that life. You know, they would make music, but still they were, you know, they was in the streets hustling. So he would, if anybody's Clark Kent, Superman of the Marvel world, well, Superman's not from Marvel, but whatever, you know, he's Iron Man then, per se, we should say, you know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I remember right around 2004, BMF actually flew me out to Atlanta and gave me some money just to party with him. And I got to, you know, I met Blue Da Vinci and I got to hang out with Big Meech at his house.
Yeah.
He was on house arrest. He had the ankle monitor on, and I got to see all this. And it was really like, I mean, it scared me because I'm like, all of this is going to end very badly. All of this, like all this flashiness. Oh yeah, they had billboards. The world is BMF's.
Yeah, no, I remember all that. Parties. I mean, I partied with Meech in Manhattan many times, and it was just like, he'd be like, "Yo, you want something to drink?" And I'd be like, "Nah, I don't drink." You know, I'm on the bike, just having conversation with him, and he was just super cool. You know,
super cool.
I love to see this story now, because a lot of it I didn't know too much about them back then. You know what I mean? I just knew they was the baddest motherfuckers out, you know? And I didn't know what BMF stood for. I thought it was just bad motherfuckers. But, you know, watching the story now and realizing, you know, they ran Detroit and Michigan and all of that shit, you know? That was a territory when we was doing the shower shit. We didn't go over there. No, you know, go over there. Leave them boy there alone. You hear me? Leave them boy alone. So, I mean, just running around, it was a whole different world back in the drug dealer days, man. You know what I mean? And it was just like every night some drug dealer got killed, you know, and it was just here in Miami, same thing. It was just, you know, it was cocaine cowboys down here. And I remember coming down here in 81, being 11 years old, riding my skateboard and just, you know, oh, that's a Mac 10. Oh, that's an AK, you know, but the biggest thing down here was the Mac 10s. Everybody was, you know, you could go in a store and buy a Mac 10 back then. you know, because the assault rifle ban didn't come into play down here till like, I think 80, 85 they put in the paperwork, 86, 87. So, you know, you could walk in the store and buy a Uzi back then, a fully auto Uzi, and it was nothing. You know, all you needed was a driver's license. You didn't even need, you know, a CCW. And it was like you go somewhere and you see Poppy behind the counter, and Poppy got his, you know, Poppy got his machine gun, because shit just happened out here like that. It was a pop off. And I think a lot of dudes running around now probably wouldn't have survived back then. You know, they probably would have never survived back then. Because your mouth would have got you in some shit that your ass couldn't get out.
You know, as someone who lives in Florida now, what is it about this Florida man phenomenon that happens? Where it's like Florida man puts a crocodile in his garbage can, or you know, Florida man, you know, drives through a school, you know, on a stolen, you know, bus or some shit. Like,
I don't know what the fuck's going on, man, but it's something about Florida that just brings the fucking crazy shit out, bro. I don't know. I really can't understand what it is about down here, you know, that just brings shit out. So that's why I always, you know what I mean? I'm still two guns. Because I just don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You know, I don't never leave the house without at least two of them, because you just never know what the fuck's going to happen. You know, like, you know, I ain't trying to put no alligator in the trash can. You know,
Did you see that video? That video was crazy.
It was. He's getting 2 shots in the head, and he's gonna be boots and belts.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna have the Louis. I mean the alligator like prison wallet. You know, I'm making an alligator prison wallet. Crazy. Don't let me ever run up on one. I got an iguana in my backyard. This motherfucker is like this big, and I went to go get my 5.7, and I was screwing my shit on, my silencer on, because I didn't want my neighbors to hear it. So he must have saw me going to do that, and he was watching me through the window, because when I had finally like looked at it and it was all screwed on, he was gone. I was like, oh man, you just saved your own ass. But he would have had to lay in the backyard, because I ain't going out there to pick him up. I don't fuck with them things. And they be big out here, bro. They be iguanas the size of alligators. And the one in my backyard, I didn't go in my backyard just because of him. I think I put it on Instagram one day to show people how big he was, because people think I be exaggerating when I talk about this motherfucker. But, yo, there's some shit out here, bro. Pythons, alligators, all kind of shit. You got to keep something on you. Because, you know, I keep a machete in the car. I got a machete underneath my mattress. Yo, you don't ever know when one of these things, because people jump in their pool and there be a whole alligator in your pool. You imagine that?
Really?
Yeah, you jump in your pool and there's a whole alligator in there. And he just watching you. And you like, what the fuck? Not today. Not today. You're going to be a belt. And some people eat them. I've been to barbecues and they had these alligators on there and the iguanas on the grill. I'm like, I got to go.
I'm out.
I barely eat curry chicken, much less I'm gonna go eat that.
Well, just recently, Kim Kardashian, she hosted Saturday Night Live. Did you watch it?
Nope.
No?
I mean, man, let's leave this girl alone. Let's change the subject. How do you want to talk about that? Let's just keep it moving. Let's stay away from her and her whole family. Let's not even get into none of them no more. Cause I get some people just start, yo, leave her alone. Motherfucker, I ain't fucking with her. The fuck I do? Man, go ahead with that shit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, let's skip that shit.
I'm gonna assume, as a boxing fan, you watched the Tyson Fury Wilder fight.
I didn't watch it. I just looked at everybody else.
You did not watch it.
I watched everybody's highlights, man. I had other shit to do. I was cleaning my gun. I ain't got time to sit there, watch these two men. And it's like, okay, so is he gonna fight him again? I wanted Wilder to win, but he looked like a drunk in the ring. I was just like, did you drink?
He was punch drunk from getting punched in the face.
Yeah. And then it's like, now you got like dudes who who in the same shape as Tyson Fury getting bowled. And I'm like, oh, this is not the right thing right here. This ain't gonna be good. Somebody gonna go in a bar and go drunk fight somebody and get hurt.
Well, I'll say this, me and my friend Michael Jai White, we talk about this all the time.
Oh, I know Michael.
Yeah,
we did a few movies together.
Oh, you guys did movies together?
Yeah, we did Chocolate City and Pandora's Box.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. He's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, mine too, brother.
And he's a big fight guy. You know what I'm saying? With UFC and jiu-jitsu and everything else like that. Like he actually trains with the John Bones Joneses of the world and so forth. Mm-hmm. And he always kind of points out that in the boxing
Bones is
world,
my people too. I keep some gangsters around me that can fist fight.
There you go. But what he points out is that in the boxing world, you have fighters and you have athletes. Mm-hmm. And Deontay Wilder, what I feel is one of these athletes who physically are spectacular. They're huge. They're muscular. They could outrun you. They could lift more weights than you. But when it comes to the ring, they're not really fighters like that. And Tyson Fury showed who the real fighter
like
was.
Tyson Fury has. Like
Tyson
Fury is like, he seemed like somebody like he gonna fight you until you kill him. You know what I mean? He's like one of them kind of dudes. Like, you got to kill this dude. Like, he ain't gonna go down. He gonna go down, but he's gonna get right back up. You know?
Right.
He's not one that stay down. You know?
Nah.
So yeah, there's those kind of people with heart. You know, and and physically you might be outmatched, but you got heart. You know, I'm one of those people with a heart. My heart don't stop clicking. Like, the time when I told you about the time when these two motherfuckers tried to jump me and, I was on my back and these two motherfuckers were beating the shit out of me. But my heart said, no, we ain't giving up. We ain't going out. And I got up and I beat the shit out of the two of them, So you got to have heart, man. Like, anything else it don't matter, If you got the heart to survive, and the amount of shit that I've been through, I got heart, bro. I already know it. I had old timers tell me that.
Well, I remember when I interviewed Mike Tyson, and we talked about Buster Douglas and how, he lost to Buster Douglas, but when Buster Douglas came back and had the follow-up fight with Holyfield, he was just in horrible shape, took a couple of hits,
and then was down.
Dropped,
and
just basically, just waited for his paycheck.
Yeah.
And I remember when I brought that up, and I said, well, what did you think of that? And Mike really kind of got quiet for a second. He goes, well, how am I going to answer this? He goes, some of us really come from a different bloodline where when you're on that stage, on that biggest stage for the world championship fight, you're going to do whatever it takes to do it. Whereas some people it's just really about the check.
Yeah.
And you could just tell how disappointed he was in what happened, in that fight. And it was interesting. And I interviewed Buster Douglas also. And he said, listen, I was going through a lot. Don King was suing me and there was all this other shit. And, it was just too much going on. And he went into a very deep depression. He almost died. He gained like 200 pounds. He went into a diabetic coma. Yeah. And it was like, it was a big deal. But it just shows heart and what it really takes to really do these types of things.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody to get in the ring, whether it's UFC or it's boxing, it takes a lot. It's like when you were in school and motherfuckers said, yo, we're gonna fight at 3:00. Like me, I would get I'd get anxious, I get weird, I get jittery, because there's something in me that's like, yo, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker. Come 3:00, it's on. And that's, I think, a lot of boxers go through that when they get in, any fighter gets in the ring. You get that anticipation of, yeah, I'm gonna do this. It was never a doubt in any fight that I ever had, because I counted all my fights. I was in 38 street fights. Never drawed one, never lost one, and damn near almost got killed in a few of them. But it was just like, I ain't had nobody else coming to save me. So, I've always had that mentality, I'm by myself. So nobody coming to save you. And that's something that, a couple of my Navy SEAL buddies and my Delta Forces friends tell me like, yo, you got to be like that. You got to be like, ain't nobody coming to save you, because there's that mentality of you. If you don't have it, you're going to give up. You know, and you always hear these stories about people who were like, yo, I was out in the woods. I was, I wanted to give up, but something in me said no. And it's like you see that little baby, 4-year-old was out in the woods for what, 3-4 days. And he came back, had a couple scratches, and my man was like, 4 years old, he was like, yo, can I have a Coke? You know what I mean? You could already see that this little man has that mentality to survive, because there was all kinds of shit out there that could have killed that little boy. But he came back in, and first thing he's like, yo, let me get a Coca-Cola. Like a champ. Like give me this. So it's a drive that we have in ourselves. And it's a drive that also pushes you to be successful, to get up off your ass, not listen to what others say, be able to get knocked down and be able to stand back up. And I think in order to be in this industry of entertainment, you have to be. Like, I know you hear it all the time. People say shit about you, like even when we did our last interview, somebody was like, yo, why you do that interview with Vlad? You could have done with somebody else. He's a culture vulture. And I was like, nah, this motherfucker's no culture vulture. I say he's a businessman. I say he's just he made a name for himself. You created something that wasn't there. There was a lane. And then others followed you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And motherfuckers is a hater because they don't want to give you your props. It's the same thing with me. Nobody made no lane. Nobody was thinking about modeling when I was coming up. Motherfuckers say, hey, come to this photo shoot and you getting this much money. I said, okay, cool. Like one of my first photo shoots, I got 5 stacks for 2 hours work. You know what I mean? And it was Chi Mode, rest in peace. He couldn't reach Biggie, yeah. And the next person he had in his phone was me. So, it's just like, it's just you in your own lane. You start your own shit. You know what I mean? And others who ain't built like that, who can't start something from scratch, they're going to sit back and hate all the time. All the time.
Well, I actually looked up who you were talking about in terms of the kid who got lost. It was actually a 3-year-old.
Yeah, 3-year-old. Sorry, for 4 days.
It was a 3-year-old who was in the woods for 4 days.
Yeah.
And guess where they came from? Miami, Florida. Florida man strikes again, even as a 3-year-old.
305. 305. We ain't talking 954. We talking 305. We still alive.
Well, speaking of boxing, we now have what I feel celebrity boxing has now entered the mainstream with, the Logan Paul and Jake Paul. Lamar Odom has done a couple of celebrity boxing matches. OG Genesis wants to box him, which I think is going to be a train wreck.
Wait. OT Genesis wants to box Lamar Odom?
Yeah. Nah, that's not going to work out for OT. That's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. It's going to be bad.
Yeah. I think all of this shit is funny, man. I'll just watch all of it, and I think it's funny. Like, somebody was saying to me, yo, who you going to fight? I said, I ain't going to fight nobody. I said, I'm fighting Uncle Sam on these taxes and all other kind of shit. I'm fighting to survive. I said, what the fuck I'm going to get in the boxing ring and fight somebody for what? I ain't mad at nobody like that. I got nobody I'm mad at like that.
Well, I mean, do you have to be mad to box somebody in the ring?
Me personally, yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
I mean, I spar with people, but I ain't going to get on the world stage like that and fight somebody unless I'm mad at them, because I use that anger for my energy. That's what's going to help me win the fight. I got to be mad at you. I'm one of those fighters. I got to be mad at you. You got to say something about me that makes me mad, and I want to box your head off. Shit, I box your head off in the street. I don't care. I don't need no damn ring. But nah, I find it entertaining. If they want to do it, cool. I just think that at some point somebody's going to get hurt, and you got to understand that a lot of boxers, their hands are registered lethal weapons, and I've seen other boxers punch and kill another boxer, and that shit ain't cool. And it's sometimes if they even hit them hard enough, it'll put them like in cause brain damage. So I just feel like when it comes to boxing, there's certain shit that you just don't play with, you know, and this celebrity boxing shit, I just don't want to see nobody get hurt. I just think it's going to end up something bad, and you know, and there's no insurance for none of this shit. There's no one, you know, people hit pay-per-view to watch it, but in the end, you know, if something happened to you and you fucking in a wheelchair or you dead, nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's paying for your funeral. None of that shit. You know, we already got too many problems in the world. You know.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to Nate Robinson with the Jake Paul fight. It was bad, and this guy was a real athlete. Was a real serious, you know, in shape,
I mean that, and some of the matchups that ain't even right. I mean, weight class, and you know, that's the one thing about professional boxing. They put you in the same weight class for a reason. You know, because it's just for safety reasons. You don't put a Mike Tyson with a Floyd, you know, Mayweather. You just don't do that. And I, when it comes to this shit, I don't fuck with it. You know, I leave this shit alone. I don't even watch any of that shit. I watch UFC more than I watch professional boxing.
Well, but I mean, Logan Paul got in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, and Mayweather still beat him. And there was a big weight difference between the two.
Yeah,
so there is a high,
and again,
high skill
it's a
too.
professional versus an amateur, pro-am, I guess you want to call him. You know,
right, pro-am.
But I didn't even know I didn't know he was gonna make it this far into it. But it seems to be making money for him. You know, good luck for him, and I hope he just be safe about it, because I would hate to see something happen to him. You know what I mean? He get in the ring with the wrong one, and it's over. You know.
Well, since our last interview, R. Kelly was found guilty on all counts.
Yeah.
Did you ever run into R. Kelly, anything of that sort?
Nope.
Nah, me neither.
But I remember back when all this shit started coming out about what he was doing, I remember myself and Jay-Z was so outspoken about it. And, you know what I mean? I don't, like pedophiles, pedos, I don't like them motherfuckers, yo. I will, you know what I mean? I'll catch a body on one of them motherfuckers. Because the innocence of a child is so important to the world, because if you look at a lot of the criminals in jail, they were all, a lot of them, some of them were molested, you know, and that's why immediately when those kind of people go to jail, they're the first ones to get it. You know what I mean? And for me, I love kids. You know, I got nephews, nieces, and yo, I'll kill somebody. You touch my one of my children, you know what I mean? Even the kids in my neighborhood, like, you know, my little neighbors next door, they're like 5 and 6. They come over and they start talking to me about school and life, and, you know, and I ask them how they doing. Yo, if their mother and father came to me and say, yo, I need you to help me do something, somebody touched my child, I'll be like, yo, what time and how we doing this? We getting bloody or we getting, you know, how we doing this? Should I bring my silencers? What we doing? So I don't appreciate people like him. So once he did that and that came out, and then he was messing with the little girls that married Aaliyah, I was like, this dude ain't cool. You know what I mean? But then I got shunned and looked at like I was crazy. But even though he got guilty on all those charges, his music went up 500% in sales. Right. Like, you got to ask yourself, Vlad, who the fuck is these people? Do you not understand this is wrong? Like, this man did something wrong, but you gonna run out and buy his music? Nah, man. I think all that money that went into people buying the records should go to those kids, those girls that he touched in those ways. Oh, I want to see him get it in jail. I want to see him get it. Every day they should shank him somewhere different. His leg, his arm, his eye. You know what I mean? Just be a shank pillow all day. You know what I mean? And fuck anybody that's down with him. Cause you advocating pedophile and all that shit. That's fucking wrong, man. Fuck R. Kelly. Fuck you, Robert Kelly. Bitch ass. Never liked you no way. Shit. Motherfucker talking about coming out the closet. In there doing all kind of shit with people's kids. Fuck is wrong with that shit, man? That shit ain't cool, bro. I got a whole gang of homeboys who just like me, who will light motherfucker up that's a pedophile. Fuck that shit. That shit is just wrong, man. There's so many grown-ass women out here, and you want a child. What does that say about you? I know his sister molested him, so that's the problem with this thing. We need to just stop putting them in jail and just cut off their stuff and be like, all right, here you go. You're out in society. You have no nuts and you have no balls and dick. This is how you're going to live, you know? Put them out there like that. We just need to just clip them because that's the only thing that's going to work for them, man. I know it's something sick in their head, you know, that they look at a child or a baby like, no, that's an innocent being. No, don't touch that. You can go hire a prostitute, bro. That shit pissed me off, bro. Really upset my day. And I was happy he got all of that. And that was one court. He still got to go Chicago and all these other places.
Yeah, he's got like 2 more trials coming up, but I think if he gets a long enough sentence, it's not really going to matter.
No, it ain't going to matter.
If you're getting 100 years,
shit,
you're just going to run concurrent.
I just don't want him to commit suicide. I want him to rot for a while, you know? I don't want him to take the easy way out. I want him to really ride this shit the fuck out, you know? I want to be 101 and hear that he's still in there suffering. You know, he done been raped so many goddamn times. Because that's all you can do to a sick fuck like that, man.
Well, how did you feel about Bill Cosby, who recently got released?
Well, see, the thing is, the Cosby thing is something different because it's accusations from grown women who knew that they was partying with him. And they knew how he got down. Some of them went back twice. You know what I'm saying? So you as a grown woman should know better. It's different when it's an innocent child who doesn't know any better, who's just caught up in your fame. These are grown women caught up in this man's fame. You know what I mean? I don't know Bill personally. And if he did that shit, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? No man should drug somebody to be able to do something with them. You know what I mean? But a lot of them women, they were sniffing the coke. They were popping the pills. They were doing the party and shit with them. The difference with those two people are just two different things. So, you know, whatever loophole they found in that system and got him out of there, but there was no physical evidence with Bill. It's just he say, she say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understand a lot of the people, you just gotta corroborate your story. Oh, he touched me like this. And if more than 2 or 3 say they were touched a certain way by him, that's when they already say, all right, well, you're guilty. You know what I mean? This woman who over here from Cincinnati and this woman over here from Chicago and the one from LA all said you did this in a certain way. So yeah, well, Bill was fucked up. I know somebody else who was doing that kind of shit too recently, you know, a couple years. With AJ Calloway. Remember, he was on his Bill Cosby shit too, was drugging girls and shit. Remember, he used to be on 106 in Park. Homeboy with the dreads.
You know,
remember we used to go
story,
out, we used to see him out at clubs and shit. He used to be a promoter dude. Yeah, he touched somebody that I know, you know? And I was gonna fuck him up behind the shit, and she didn't want to press charges on him. And I was like, yo, let me catch this long-haired dread motherfucker. Choke his shit out with his own dreads.
Right. Well, he doesn't have dreads anymore. But yeah, you're talking about 2019.
You know, that's a liability. You can be found hanging in the rafters by them motherfuckers.
Yeah. So a few years ago, several women actually accused him of sexual assault. And I guess since you know others that didn't come forward is actually
I tried to push my friend to go, and I even connected her with a lawyer, and she wouldn't do it. So I just say, okay, well, I guess there's got to be some street justice somehow, some way, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation these days because there are actual predators. There are people who
we live
rape
amongst
women
predators
and so forth.
We live amongst predators. We just don't know. They're not open and out there like that because they fear people like myself and some of my friends that will like, we don't care. We'll get you in public. I don't care who you with. If I know that you touch somebody that I know that's wrong, yeah, man. Oh, you gonna catch it. You gonna catch it. Bare face or ski mask.
On the flip side though, as someone who's in the entertainment business and who has a certain amount of fame, you do know that you have groupies, you have women that get with you hoping that being around you, they'll somehow blow up. Like you're, and sometimes that sincerely happens. Like I remember with your ex girlfriend, you helped put her on in terms of the modeling world.
Yeah.
Right. I remember there was a comment you made, like you said, like I made her, and she got kind of offended by it and said, "Oh, no one made me. My mom made me."
Yeah.
He's gonna be the doghouse for that comment or whatever else. But
yeah, I was in the doghouse for it, but I deserve to be in the doghouse for it because the way I had explained it to the reporter, it wasn't like that. It came out like I was being a pompous ass. So I took full responsibility of it, but it made me realize in certain interviews, you got to have the right wordage. You can't say it certain ways because they're going to take it and write it and make it look bad. You know what I mean? Because they're going to put their spin on it. And no matter how much, I apologized before it even came out. I said, look, I just got wind of something that's going to come out and it's not going to be right. I don't want you to come off like that. She was cool with it. But then her damn mama got involved because I didn't apologize or explain it to her mom because I didn't feel I needed to. But even though when it hit the fan and the mom came at me and I said, look, I fucked up. I apologize, but that's not what I had said. That's not how the interview went. The reporter put her own spin on it. You know what I mean? So, shit can get mixed messaged in written articles. Yeah. That's why now my manager and I, we make sure you send us that article first. We ain't signing off on nothing, but on a video like this is raw, this is real. I can't say that you spun any of my words, I said it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I learned from that lesson.
Yeah. I mean, but I just want to say though, as someone, listen, like I have a certain amount of fame myself, in my early days, being on tour as a DJ or having women recognize me, you go and meet a girl, you sleep with a couple hours later, and then a lot of times you never see the person again. Yeah. Especially if you're on tour or whatever, sometimes you have situations where maybe that female maybe regretted saying, oh, I thought we had more of a connection and this was going to be more of a relationship. I didn't think this was going to be a one night stand. Or maybe you tell her like, oh yeah, maybe during the course of honestly, kind of talking to her.
That can happen.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the women walk away and they feel like I got used. I regret
honestly,
doing that.
I could probably count the amount of one night stands I had in one hand because I didn't really do that too often because that wasn't my thing. Mm-hmm. I'm an emotional person, you know what I mean? So I can't just run around and just knock something down and get up and leave, I know cats that can do that. I just ain't one, And my mama would tell you I'm a sensitive motherfucker. You know what I mean? My son is a sensitive motherfucker. I got to tiptoe around his ass when I say certain things, But I'm older, so I got a little bit of thicker skin. But I mean, I'm sensitive like that. I'll try not to hurt people's feelings because I don't want mine hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't either. But what I'm saying is that famous men, rich men, successful men, they are somewhat of a target for this type of thing.
No, we are.
Certain accusations are completely true. Certain accusations are open to interpretation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very hard for me to accept someone saying, I got sexually assaulted 30 years ago. Yeah. And now I'm coming forward.
With Bill Cosby's case, is 40. Yeah, 40 plus. Like, so
that's what I'm saying.
I interviewed, I can barely remember what I did in 1982. Much less remember what, you know what I mean? It's tough, man. Yeah. And I find that to be...
There's no physical evidence. But for example, you talk about like the blurred lines thing that we talked about in the beginning. Okay, she said it. The director said it. We could pretty much establish that it's true.
And you see it in the uncut version, they were topless.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in the uncut version, because remember, there was two versions of the video,
Right.
And she was
certain things,
she was practically a baby back then.
Certain things... And a lot of times it is money grabs. I've dealt with lawsuits myself. They were just money grabs. That's all they were. And you just had to pay out the fucking settlement amount and just keep it moving. Yeah. Even though you knew it was bullshit and you knew that this was trash.
I had that almost happen to me on a car accident situation where a girl tried to walk behind my Mercedes one time to get paid. And, she came to court and then she switched legs on us on which leg got hit. And, and it was crazy because my lawyer was such a gangster. He was like, yo, you should have took the 100K. She went for $1 million. And it basically was one day in court. The judge was like, which leg is it, miss? And she didn't even remember. And it was just like, court dismissed. And it was just like, my lawyer was like, yo, you should have took the 100K and went off. Because she wanted $1 million, but it didn't happen. So,
So you were ready to pay her 100K?
No, the insurance company that I was with was willing to pay her 100K. They even knew that the situation was bullshit, but she denied that money and wanted to go for $1 million, because why I was in a big body Mercedes Benz back then. And, she just saw money and she didn't see nothing else, And when we tried to call paramedics for her, she denied it. She's like, no, I'm all right, this and that. And I always look behind me when I back up. And she wasn't back there, Vlad. She jumped back there after a certain point. And I was just like, come on. And then when we tried to call the cops, she was like, nah, don't call the cops. I don't want the police involved. I'm all right. But was able to find me like a week later to say, yeah, I'm suing you. I'm like, all right. Back then, a lot of people used to always try to sue me for dumb shit. Nobody ever won anything.
Yeah, I had someone try to sue me, and in the paperwork, they said that I'm part of the Russian mafia. This is actually in the paperwork. Like, in the paperwork.
Now,
I swear to God. I swear to God.
We both know if that was true, that person wouldn't be here no more.
Right, exactly.
People are stupid, bro. People are fucking stupid. Like, I just look at this world and say, yo, stupid is what stupid does.
Yep.
It's like this whole thing with the vaccine. You got people that just don't want to take it. You've been taking vaccines your whole life.
True.
And you ain't never died yet. You didn't grow a third leg. You didn't grow extra ears or nothing like that. You didn't get no Superman powers. Nothing. All of a sudden now you don't want to take some shit. And you're just ending up dying. I'll just say, man, this is dumb shit. I just got like my yellow fever. I always go get all my vaccines that I'm supposed to get. My MMR. I got what I got coming up now. I got hepatitis A and hepatitis B shots to get. Like, I just get these shots because why? You're supposed to. Like, for me, I travel a lot, and we getting ready to open the borders up soon. So, I got to go to Africa a couple times coming up. So I was like, I'm getting my yellow fever shot. I'm going to get my malaria shot. I got my flu and I got my COVID. I'm not fucking around. I ain't never had a shot that did me anything wrong. And I'm all tatted up anyway, so I ain't scared of the needle. So, I mean, people in that shit, I'm like, you know what? Don't get your shot. Just hurry up and fucking die. Hurry up and fucking die, all right? Get out the goddamn way. Let us intelligent people continue with the earth. Because we got more fucking viruses coming out. You know what I mean? People just don't realize it yet. All this digging we doing all over the earth, we unearthing all kinds of shit. Mother Nature's brewing. She building some shit, and why not protect yourself from it? Now you got people like, I'm not, I never got a shot. Motherfucker, you got the measles shot. You would have never been able to go to school in the United States if you didn't get a measles shot. You know what I mean? Just dumb shit, man. The intelligence level really right now is just stupid.
Well, something that kind of hits close to home, you being Caribbean. Remember when Nicki Minaj said that her cousin's friend testicles blew up?
Yo, that shit was so funny. Like, when I was watching Dr. Fauci and he was talking about it, I knew he wanted to say something like, yo, he better stop fucking with that dirty girl. A dirty girl in my balls swell up, so. Yo, his balls swell up from his fucking...
Remember, I think that the Trinidadian minister of health actually went and researched and could not find. Yeah, they couldn't find the actual case.
He was like, "Yo, what dirty scratches kind of girl y'all fuck with here, me dirty boy? Yo, dirty."
What do you think of Kyrie Irving, who's basically
Man, I
not
love
being
that
allowed
guy,
to play?
man. I really do. I have like so many of his jerseys in the house. I'm a big Brooklyn Nets fan. I was down with the Nets when they were in Jersey. They were right down the street from me when I lived in Fort Lee and Edgewater. And I just can't, like, bro, this is a business. The NBA is a business. It will continue to roll on with or without you. You know, They winning all their games now. I don't know if you pay attention to them. We beat the Lakers, and we beat Minnesota. We beat a lot of people so far, and it's just like they rolling without him. And it's like, dude, you're losing what, almost $400K per game? Yo, you got your beliefs and all that. I get that, but if we the fans have to go get our shots to attend the game, why shouldn't you get your shot to play in the game and go to other arenas? Like, do your research. What do you think it's going to do to you? I want to know, is this like the next zombie apocalypse? What do you think? I want to know what people think it's going to do to you. And then people say, oh, you don't know what's in it. Motherfucker, you just took ecstasy and motherfucking Molly that was made in a lab in some jungle that you don't even know where it came from. Or you fucked with some cocaine that you don't even know where it came from. You know, they put diesel fuel in cocaine.
Well, yeah.
I know this because I used to sell the motherfucker. And we mix it up with some baking soda too. The fuck?
Right. I mean, because think about it. Nicki Minaj was getting, butt implants and shots when they were totally illegal. But yet,
you don't know
she's
what's in
scared
that.
of the vaccine.
That's my other thing with this. Like, people are running around getting plastic surgery and this and that. You don't know what's in all of that shit. You do not know what's in that shit. But yet still, the FDA has approved this, but you don't want to fuck with it. All right, don't. Yeah. Don't fuck with it. Go over in a little corner, die, get out the way, and let the rest of us continue on. Because the world is a business, no matter what you think about it. Life is a business. When you're dead and gone, it will continue on. We'll stop, we'll praise you, we'll give you your flowers, but tomorrow's another day. What Fat Joe say? Yesterday's prices is not today's prices.
Right. That's what you told me last time. Right. Because, it's interesting. I just interviewed Omar Gooding, the actor. Mm-hmm. Right. And we were talking about his career and everything. And he mentioned that he was in the show called Playmakers. Do you remember that show?
Yeah, yeah.
And, I'd never seen it. And as I'm, looking through some of the comments, they're like, yo, Playmakers was the best sports show ever. Yo, that shit was so good. I'm so upset. And I remember he mentioned, he goes, yeah, the reason it was on ESPN and the reason why they stopped it, it was the highest rated show on ESPN. Mm-hmm. But the NFL came in and said, we don't like the way you're depicting NFL players. We're shutting this show down. Okay. So I said, okay, that's interesting. That was okay. So hold on. Let me just finish the story.
So the NFL is more X-rated than they are rated. So I don't know what they talk about.
So I'm like, something? I want to see what this show is about. Okay, let me look up Netflix. Let me see if I can pull up the show. Mm-hmm. Not on Netflix. Not on Hulu. Let me pull it up on Amazon. Let me buy it. Can't buy it on Amazon. I finally found it on a DVD from 2014.
Yeah,
when the NFL wants to bury
on any of these modern platforms.
Yo,
the power
when
of
the NFL wants to bury something, it is done and dead. Yo, these big sports systems, when they don't want something, there is no standing against them. They will shut it down. You saw what they did to Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? The game went on. Yes, there was a hiccup along the way, but the game went on. People kept watching the Super Bowl.
They went and hired a bunch of people that they know who had big influence on the world, and people would say, all right, they cool. They back in the game again.
Yeah, but they hired Jay-Z.
For smart people,
now they have Dr. Dre,
like ourselves,
the Super Bowl
you never
halftime
forget.
show. Yep.
Yeah. You might forgive for that moment, but you never forget. I still remember people getting mad because these players were kneeling, but still didn't understand why they were kneeling. It's not they're kneeling because they want to disrespect the flag. They're kneeling in protest to understand that, Black people are getting killed everywhere. These players will leave the field, get in their cars, and a cop pull them over and shoot them for whatever reason. It's like the paraplegic dude that they yanked out of the car the other day. My man's paraplegic. What's wrong with you? Like, you're gonna burn in hell. You a cop and you just dragged somebody out the car that can't even walk? The cop kept saying, yo, get out the car. Motherfucker, if he could get out the car, you don't think he would have? So you gonna drag him out the car? Bro, I hope you burn in hell. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And then you got all these random cops in New York City shooting each other and shit.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Being Caribbean yourself, it recently was announced that Rihanna is a billionaire. And when they asked her about it, she said it's hard to even accept that. And This is someone who really, I mean, obviously she did great at music, but really her money was made in the fashion
and the makeup and the lingerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you see a Caribbean black woman who grew up poor achieve that type of success in an area that you're very familiar with, how do you feel?
I feel very proud of her. I mean, it's an accomplishment that I would love for all young Caribbean women to be able to do, and even young Caribbean men. I mean, it's a blessing to see somebody as humble as she is, where she is. I mean, she deserves it, every bit of it, you know? So I stand behind her. I'm proud of her, you know? I mean, she makes the whole Caribbean proud, you know what I mean? And anybody that says otherwise, they'll suck your mother, you hear me? You know? You can't deny the girl for who she is and where she came from, you know? And anybody else that, you know, can do that, I give them big props, you know? To come from such a small island like Barbados and shock the world like how she shocked the world. There's nobody in the world that don't know who she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got more motherfuckers that know her more than they'll know Trump. You know? So you have to give her our props. As we say in Jamaica, big up yourself, you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you look at like fashion these days, Fashion Nova came in and really took over a segment in a way that I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, obviously Polo is one of these very iconic brands and it's much older and much more established and has a niche that very few people, no one's been able to really follow. But what Fashion Nova did, I thought was very different.
Yeah,
they didn't go after.
I thought it was different too. I mean, I'll tell you about a run-in I had with the Fashion Nova guy. He reached out to me through some other people and wanted me to do something for him, but he didn't want to pay. So, you know, I was just like, really, bro? You make this back within a month, 2 months. And then later on, he went and gave some other artists, like, this is almost a similar money that I had asked him for. And I just was like, you know what? Because he wanted me to do the Fashion Over for men. So I was down. You know what I mean? I thought it would have been a great collaboration. But then I have to just look at people like a Ralph Lauren and say, you know what? This is why I work for people like you, because it's quality. It's no bullshit. It's no backdoor bullshit. You know, it's not gutter. It's not street. You know, you give me a good contract. You give me a good, you know, you take care of me. To this day, like this morning, as I'm leaving the house, FedEx delivered a big blue box with yellow writing on it, said Polo, gift wrapped. I didn't open it. I don't know what it is, but I got an idea what it is because I did mention something on, he just dropped the NBA, Major League Baseball Ralph jackets. So I commented, yo, that's fire. I just put the fire symbol. So, you know, a couple of days later, I see this box at my door. I got a good idea what's in it. I'll open it later on Instagram for sure. But it's that kind of class that I'd rather be connected to than them other people. You know what I mean? Because their stuff, you know, you wash it and it's done. You know?
Yeah.
It's just
falls apart.
Boom. It's wear it one night and then it's done. It works great for the women because women to throw on these dresses and be out, you know? Guys could probably do a shirt like this and be out, you know?
Yeah. I mean, after our interview, I decided to reach out to Thurston Howell III.
Yeah.
You know, to talk about the whole low life thing and everything else like that. It was really dope how I didn't realize until I was doing the research that Polo actually brought him in for like a whole official photo shoot. You know, to go from stealing Polo to being part of a Polo photo shoot.
And you see how
crazy.
we see how that brand turns things into iconic documentaries. Them other companies ain't gonna be able to do no shit like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why like I'll stay with the classy before I get ashy. You know what I mean?
And you know, the one thing that he pointed out that I never thought about, and it really to this day, like I still think about it over and over again, because you know I have a business myself, is that unlike any other brand, Polo kept switching its logos depending on what clothes it would put out. There's like how many different Polo logos are there?
Man, too many to count. Too many to count. I mean, it's just like coming in, I saw your guy, he had on this, a certain camo that came out that only so many of us were able to get. And I just said to him like, yo, I was trying to get those camo shorts and they sold out. I couldn't get them. And it's just like, you got Stadium, you got Purple Label, you got Blue Label, you got Black Label, you got so many labels of this brand that it's just iconic, man. And that's why like I stay in Polo. My closet is draped with it. Like, I can pull out these jeans 10 years from now and they still be fire. You know what I mean? And I could wash them 1,000,000 times and they're just going to get better and better. Whereas some other brands, you wash them twice and they fall apart. You know, there's a quality, you know? When you buy a Rolls Royce, you buy a Rolls Royce. You're not buying a Dodge or a Toyota, you know? Although Toyota might last as long as the Rolls, but you know what I'm saying. It's quality.
Well, I don't know if you can answer this question honestly because of your history with them, but what do you think of the Yeezy brand?
I don't think anything of it. I don't even, it doesn't cross my mind. It's not something that I like. It's not, you know, I'm just not interested.
Okay.
It works for others. I see other people in it, but I can't see me in it. For me personally, that brand is not me, but obviously it's doing well and my opinion for him don't matter. So, I mean, good for him. It's just not what I would wear, you know? Not that it's, not that I'm not saying it's a shit brand. It's just not my shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always liked the sneakers. I have a lot of his sneakers. The clothing I've never liked. I don't own any of it. But I think with the sneakers he did a good job.
Yeah, I'm an Air Force Ones, Vans, Louboutin guy. So for me, it's not for me. You know what I mean? And then for me, when I do combat boots, I do like real military issues. So,
right.
You know.
You know, I mean, in terms of fashion, if you were to say who the top fashionable rappers are, who would you say?
I have to say Jay-Z for sure, because Jay always has Tom Ford. Who else?
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot of stuff that Nas is wearing lately. I seen him yesterday in an all red suit.
That's a good one.
T.I. gets his suits custom made. Who else? I love the way Nipsey used to dress.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, because when Nipsey got clean, he got really dressed up nice. Who else? That's my top 4 right now. You know what I mean? I can't think.
So you're not a fan of just all designer, like everything else like that, like, you know, I mean, like for example, like the Young Thugs or the Gunners or, you know, the dudes that just.
I'm not into the way those young men dress. That's not for me. I'm more of a guy who wears a belt. My pants fits me right. My shirts are custom fitted and my suits are custom fitted. So I'm more of the, you know, tailored, bespoke kind of guy. You know, whereas their look to me is, you know, it just reminds me of a kid. You know, it's not the grown man. You know, and even if I was that age, I probably wouldn't still dress that way. You know, just not for me. I like my clothes to fit me right. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I was going through your Instagram, and there was a picture with you and Michael K. Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we spoke about Michael in the last interview. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he passed away in between those 2 interviews.
Yeah.
And in the caption, he said, "We started off as models in 1991 and then became actors. Many nights of stories and character building. He was always the calm one out of both of us. You kept me from killing dudes when they went off. You always you'll always be in my heart. Rest in paradise, Black excellence."
That's it. That's my guy.
Yeah, that was a sad one. That was unexpected too.
Yeah, that really was, because here he just did this amazing performance for DMX, you know? And next thing you know, he's the next one gone, next big one gone. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's sad, man. That one really hurt me. Out of all that we lost this year, that one really hurt me. And it's like, he's constantly in my heart. I still feel like he's still here. He's just off being Michael doing something. You know what I mean? And there's still, I hear there's a body of work still to come out on him, you know, some works that he did. And it just like, it's crazy because I was sitting here giving him his flowers while he was here in the last interview, and then now he's gone. And it's like, you know, here I am again giving him his flowers. He was a genius, man. Like, he just had a way about him. And, you know, when sitting with him and talking about different characters and how to play roles, he opened my eyes to things that I never looked at, and I wouldn't even think of the possibility of playing a role like that. But he really like set me off, you know, to the point where now, even on my auditions, I'm different. You know, I just went in on an audition for ABC where I was playing a prison inmate who was wrongly accused, and it just, my energy, my anger, everything was different. You know, I took a little bit of Omar's anger and mixed it up with a little Boardwalk Empire, and it was just like, you know, there's so much. You can go back and watch a lot of his stuff, and you can learn a lot from it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he would always steal the show whenever he'd be on.
Yeah, anything he was on, he would always demand it, you know?
Yeah.
And that was the kind of actor he was that, you know, set the goal for a lot of us young Black actors and say, you know, this is what we want to do, you know? It's like I had a conversation with Lawrence Fishburne, and he said, "Brother, we've been waiting on you," you know? And it's like when you get people like that and Denzel and guys like that tell you, "Yo, don't give up, keep going." And that's all I keep saying and doing. You know, it's the right role will put you in the right place, you know? And no matter what role or what place I am, I'm still gonna be staying me, you know? But to be able to flex from one extreme to the next, you know, that's how you do it. And
he was only 54 years old. I mean, he was only 54 years old.
Yep. 4 years older than me.
Yeah, a few years older than you. And it really sort of broke my heart when you found out that there was, you know, cocaine and heroin, I guess, in his apartment and in his system. And then you found out there was fentanyl mixed in.
That's a lot.
And it's just like...
That's a lot, man. That's a cocktail that's why, like, now, like, when I look back at my drug dealer days, I'm just like, man, if I could wipe that shit clean, because who knows what pain and what anguish I might have caused somebody back then when I was hustling, you know? It just was like, if I had to do it again, that's one thing I wouldn't do. You know, I'd still be street, maybe still jack cars, sell guns, and do shit like that. But I'd stay away from the drugs, you know? It's just... Because a lot of times when that shit gets a hold of you, and I mean, me and him had conversations about that stuff, and he'd be like, "Man, I beat it this time. I'm not doing it no more." You know what I mean? Whenever he was clean, he was always so proud of it, you know?
Huh.
But then when it got a hold of him again, it just, you could see it. And he was like a kid trapped in a box, you know? You see it in his eyes that he didn't want it no more. But the body craved it. You know, because you got to understand that the chemical mixes that are in these drugs, they're not natural. It's like when you do weed, you're going to get, I'm addicted to weed. I need it. I'm going to steal a TV, you know?
Right.
You don't do that with weed. like coke, heroin, you know, all these other fentanyl, all these other things. You'll do whatever to get your hands on it because it's in your skin. Like my uncle had a girlfriend that did heroin, and you be talking to her, and she just or she's constantly itching. It's in their skin and it's calling them, and it's like, you know, it's a chemical like addiction that's just constantly just calls them and tells their brain to do shit that they wouldn't normally do. You know, a sane person ain't gonna steal mama TV because, you know, mama gotta watch her stories, you know, and it just, you know, it got a hold of him, man.
Yeah. So he actually was talking to you about his addiction and the struggle with it.
Yeah, we spoke about it a few times, and then I'd be out at the time when I was drinking, he wasn't drinking, and then when I wasn't drinking, he was drinking, and he would be like, yeah, and then, you know, he would be heavy on the Hennessy, and I'd be like, yo, what's up, man, you good? Yeah, I'm good, and I'd have to kind of sometimes take the glass away from him and be like, yo, no more, that's it. Let's go home. Let's call it a day. You know what I mean? And it was like he was on the high of life, you know, and then sometimes that high would turn into that. I mean, it's like cocaine's nothing new in Hollywood, you know? People, it's a celebratory drug in Hollywood, you know? I remember going to the Emmys and, you know, motherfuckers was in the bathroom. Like, you heard all of that shit going on, you know what I mean? If I was a drug dealer, I could have made a shit ton of money. But, you know, I had left that life. You know, when I walked away from all things that were bad, I walked away. I didn't look back. And it just was like, you know, and I saw people doing it, and I would want to say, yo, don't do that shit. It's going to get a hold of you and destroy you. You know, because most people, I got it under control. Yeah, you know, I just do it once in a while. Nah, when you get that white horse, it's on you, bro. You can't shake it. It's on you.
Yeah. One of my close friends overdosed and died at 23 off cocaine. And being at that funeral, I made the decision never to try it.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've had people offer it to me.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, nah,
all
I'm
the
good.
time. I even had people take these exact keys right here and do blow off with my keys. And I'm like looking at my keys like, I hope this shit don't get in my ignition. I pour Heineken over that motherfucker, yo. Shit.
There you go.
And again, Florida man, it's down here like,
yeah,
it's like going to be like, yo, you got a bottle of water? Yeah, I got a bottle of water. You want a bump? It's everywhere. You know what I mean? Again, if I was in that business, I'd be like a Pablo Escobar down here. You know what I mean? I have all the crazy shirts. You know, my man, I got everything. You want? I got. But it's here, man. It's running rampant here.
There you go. Tyson Beckford, man, always a pleasure. Congrats on all your success.
With you.
You know, you always keep it 100. You always keep it honest. You always keep it humble. You know, and this is why I think so many people react to the first interview, and I think even more people are going to react to this one, man. Appreciate it. Until next time.
Yeah, brother. Hey, we should do our own show. 5 things that are happening in the news, and what does Tyson think about it?
Let's do it.
I mean, comedy, bro. Because we could turn it into something funny and turn around this stigma of not being able to laugh anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. And you know, this is probably going to be out by the time this clip actually comes out. Faison Love, who's a regular on my show, we actually did a whole interview that's dropping on Halloween, which is probably dope. In the past by now.
I love Big Man.
He's actually, I'm interviewing him as Big Worm.
Oh, okay.
So Big Worm got a Vlad.
He got the curlers and everything?
He's got the perm.
Oh,
he's got the perm.
Hell yeah.
You know, I asked him about if the police went and got him after he shot at Smokey, how long he's been dealing drugs and everything.
Right.
It's a real VladTV interview with Big
please,
Worm.
give that man his flowers now, because we see a lot of the actors from Friday are dropping like flies, bro.
This is true. This is true.
So
we lost a lot of them. Debo's gone. Craig's father is gone.
Yeah, Witherspoon, John Witherspoon.
Yeah, Witherspoon's gone. DJ Pooh's father. He wasn't too old, man. No. He's gone.
Nope.
Yep. A lot
And
of
then,
people are gone, man.
the girl, Janet Jackson.
AJ Johnson. AJ Johnson, who died
And then
needed
AJ
a
Johnson
GoFundMe.
just recently.
Yeah,
and it's
he needed a
crazy. Somebody
GoFundMe
just
to
reminded
bury him.
me that I had done a show with him, and I didn't even remember. And I'm like, because I kept seeing all these things about help pay for his funeral, and I was like, nah, this can't be real. This must be a scam. And I'm like, the AJ I knew always was hustling. So, you know, but you never know how people end up in these last few days of their life, you know, financially. Yeah. But yeah, man, it was
exactly.
sad.
Yeah, rest in peace, AJ Johnson. I got a chance to interview him and really have him tell his whole life story. He has a very interesting story. His dad was actually started the Black Stuntmen Association in Hollywood.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn,
yeah,
I didn't know
exactly.
that.
Yeah, he was one of the first black stuntmen, because before they just have white dudes wearing blackface do the stunts.
Yeah, I remember
you
that.
know what I'm saying? And then, you know, he actually got into it and became
to
a
put
stuntman.
themselves at risk. Yeah.
Exactly. And actually his dad was in Harlem Nights. Remember when like Arsenio was like shooting the gun, and then like that one dude had the pow. He'd be like, stop shooting that little motherfucking gun.
Yeah.
That was actually AJ Johnson's dad.
Oh, yes, you look at the similarities. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is his dad still around?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the worst when when your kids go before you. Knock on wood, I don't never want nothing else.
That's the worst.
You know what I mean?
That's the worst.
So
that's what it is. Tyson Beckford, man. Until next time, my man.
Peace, my brother.